Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Stylish Hidden Treasures. So today is going to be an eBay 101 video for all you new resellers or people that are considering wanting to sell online, especially on eBay. So we're going to discuss on how to create a good listing, how to put in great descriptive words to try to get your items seen on visibility, and just kind of go over some basic information on creating a new listing. So I'm going to walk you through this. Today, you will kind of get an idea of what some of the keywords you should put in your title, and also just kind of the layout of the eBay Seller Hub. So as you can see, here's my store. I do not have 100% feedback. Many sellers do not, and it's really hard to please everyone, and you'll learn that in reselling. We all try our best, especially with offering good customer service and returns. However, we just can't always please the customer. So, you know, my feedback is not bad, but it's, you know, it could improve just a little bit. This shows how many items I've sold over the years. I'm actually well over 10,000, even though that's what it shows here. I've been on eBay full-time for the last 4 years, and then prior to that, I was part-time as a seller. And then as you can see in the store category, you know, there's different categories you can make for the items that you're trying to sell. You can put featured items in here, or you can simply, you know, put what's popular or maybe holiday collections. You can do a lot of neat things when you're wanting to market your store. So first thing we're going to do is go into how to create a listing. So as you can see here, you can do a couple different things. You can go through the search engine, find a similar item that is for sale, and then simply do like a sell that item or sell the same type of way, or you can just simply create your own. So in this case, we are going to see if there's anyone else that is selling a Matilda Jane dress, green, and size medium. So you press enter, and then at this point we'll try to scroll and see if we find something that is remotely close to what we're looking for. So this is similar to what we're going to list. So let's click on that. Then at this point, you can go down on the listing and see this option where it says sell now. So we want, it says have one to sell. So you can do that option, which I would suggest, which is the easiest way. It's easy because that person already has inputted some of the information, and all you have to do is tweak it to what you're selling. Now, there's another option, which we'll go back, we'll do this again. You can go to your My eBay, go down to selling, and then go over to listings. And then you can simply create a listing, which for some reason, oh, here it is. Create a listing, a single listing, multiple listings, and then if you've bought from bulk.com, you could have some of those listings imported. So let's do single listing. So when you do things this way, it's a little bit more difficult, but you can do it this way as well. So we'll do Matilda Jane dress, medium, green, and then press search. At this point, it will kind of pull up over here in this area other dresses that are the same. As you can see, there is no other dress that's a size medium or that's green that's in this brand. So you can filter and maybe add a couple more to see if it comes up, you know, and it still doesn't. So in this case, you just do as much as you can and then say continue without match. In this case, this is a pre-owned item. And then once again, it takes you to your listing. Now, there's several different options for pictures. Many of us simply take pictures on our phone, and then we use photo editing software to brighten or to do a variety of different things to our pictures, and then we save it on our phone and then upload them. So that's an option, and I'll show you now how to do that. You press on Import for Mobile, and what eBay does is they send you a notification, which I don't know if you can see here. The notification says add photos with an exclamation mark, and it says add photos to your listing, Matilda Jane dress, medium green. So what I would do is I would open up that notification. It takes you to your eBay store, and then at that point you find your pictures that are on your phone, you press upload, and then done, and then just close out. Then at that point it sends it back to the server, and you press got it. So what should happen is your picture should show up in this, which it did, in your listing. Now, for some reason, this glitches sometimes. You may have to click this a couple times. It does happen. Another way you can go about adding your pictures is you can simply import it from the web. You got to make sure you have the URL particular code for that in order to upload that photo, and make sure you have the permission. Or you can just simply not put any photos at all, save your listing, then find your drafts on your phone, on your eBay app, and then upload them that way. So, there's several different ways. Also, as you can see, there's an add video option in case you have an electronic or something that you want to prove actually works. So there's a way to do that as well. So then you go down to your title. Now, when it comes to creating a good title, you have to make sure you put in the things that people are searching for. So when you think about, say you wanted a pair of Nikes, there's a specific brand, there's a specific model that you want, there's a specific color, a size, maybe you want men's, women's. Well, you would put all of that information in a title. So when you are putting in your terms for the title, but you want to make sure that they are searchable things that people are looking for. You want to avoid putting in words like cute and pretty and maybe some additional stuff that people don't really need to hear. If something's new with tags, you really don't have to put new in the title. Or if it's rare, I don't know that you really need to put rare. You could put those type of words down in your item description. So first thing you want to do is make sure you capitalize your brand and put Matilda Jane. And what is it? It's a green dress. What size is it? It's a medium. And then you want to put in any features, like in this case, it's cotton blend. Many people will be searching for things that are cotton. Many people like things that are stretchy, so that's important. Just think of anything about this dress that you want to say. This is a fit and flare style, which is important. It's long sleeves, which is important. What type of dress? It's kind of boho-ish. So I would put boho because somebody somewhere is going to be looking for a dress that has a boho style. So this is how I would put it. Some people would tell you put the size at the end. Some people would tell you you could put maybe some other different things if you have enough characters. But as you can see here, there's 76 of 80 characters already used. You want to get as many characters in that title that are relevant as possible. So then you come down to the item category. As you can see, it's currently in the right one is dresses. But whenever you do the option of selling like a similar item that someone else is selling, make sure that all of your categories are in a line, because sometimes people make mistakes and then you decide to use their listing as kind of like a template, and then you can get dinged for return or item not as described because, I mean, maybe you have it in a men's section, it's actually women's. Maybe the size is actually a small and yours is medium. You leave that information in the listing. So you need to make sure you have everything accurate in your listing if you decide to use someone else's as a starter. Then here shows my store category. In another video, I'll show you how to create those. But in this one, it automatically populated it to sweaters. It is not a sweater. So let's go to dresses and we click that. So it's in the right category, here. Then you come on down to the item specifics and you will learn all the drama about item specifics on eBay. They are very important to have. They are really pushing them, but some of the basic ones you have to have in a listing are right here. So always make sure you put these in. And then there's some additional ones that eBay will suggest that you add, or, you know, will help your listing, but not necessarily required. But I would fill out as many fields, I know it's a lot of work, as possible. So this is a Matilda Jane dress. It's a fit and flare. It is not a plus size. So we want to change that to regular. And then it is a knee length. It is green. It is women's, and it's a medium. Then additional, anything you know about it, put it in. It is long sleeve. It is casual. It is travel. So any kind of occasion that you could wear this dress, put it in. It's primarily solid. It does have a floral trim, but don't put floral if it has very few floral detail to it. And that kind of goes to, you know, to anything. If you have an item that is exactly the same amount of color, like say a dress that's black and white equally, I would literally put black, comma, white. But if you have a dress that has multiple different colors, put multicolor. So for the pattern, it's solid. Material, it's a cotton blend. Usually that is already an option, and it is. Like that. Fabric type, it's kind of like a jersey knit. So you could kind of put knit or jersey, but I think it's a little bit more jersey. Neckline is kind of like a scoop neckline, so we click that. Or round. I'm going to say scoop. Vintage, it is not. The type of sleeve, it is a, well, it's like a regular sleeve, but we'll say raglan on this one. Accents, it has floral trim. Theme, I would use bohemian. You know, you just kind of look at your item and ask yourself, you know, what kind of theme is it? It's kind of hippie. It's kind of art to wear a little bit. So I would put that. And then anything else is relevant. Features, there's a lot of different things I could kind of say, but I think the main one I'm going to say on this one is stretch. Everything else doesn't really apply. Whatever country that it's made in, I usually do unknown unless it's something that's a very nice material that's from Italy or alpaca or Peru or something like that. I will definitely put those in. People are looking for that. If it's made in the USA, I would definitely put that in. People are definitely looking for that, but I don't always. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm a little lazy on that sometimes. For personalized, no, you cannot personalize it. So no. Garment care, it's machine washable. Handmade, no. Now, for California Prop 65 warning, I mean, essentially is for items that have certain type of chemical exposure that may have like reproductive harm or things like that, or birth defects. Guys, just be honest. If it has some type of warning of some sort or has exposure to that, you have to make sure you enter that information here. And then when it comes to variations, most of your listings probably won't have this. However, some of us that sometimes buy liquidation and we may have 25 of the same item in all different colors, all different sizes, it's nice to have the variation option because you can literally create one listing for multiple things. And that kind of saves you on money when it comes to how many listings that you have for sale. And it makes it easier for the buyer. Also, sometimes the buyer will buy multiple colors or items of that one listing because you have a variation and a variety. For condition, you pick whatever condition you have. If it's new with tags, super easy, you click that. If it's new without tags, it gets a little tricky sometimes because some things look practically brand new or has a piece of a tag that's there. I would put it as new without tags. If you need to add additional information, you should do that. If it's new with defects or if it's an item that is an open box item or anything like that, click that. And then there's also a field to add additional information if needed. And then, of course, if it's pre-owned, be descriptive. Because, I mean, you know, eBay is, how do I put this, notorious for people buying pre-owned items. We put all the conditions in it. They may or may not read it, or they think they're getting a brand new item for a pre-owned price, and then you have a return. So just as much as possible, be descriptive. And if there is a flaw, if there is a spot, some people will still buy it, and that's okay, but you have to let them know. So in this situation, it's excellent condition. It is fresh and clean, and it's from a smoke-free home. Okay, and then here for the description, what I do is I click on the bullet point, I scroll back up, and I literally copy the listing or copy the title, which oftentimes is the same thing as what the item description is going to say. You may add a little bit more just to make sure that the buyer knows what they're getting, because after all, guys, they can't feel it, they can't try it on. So you want to make sure you can avoid a return. It's very costly on our end. It's very costly on their end. Plus, you got to relist it. It's a big headache. So anytime you can prevent a return, by all means, be as descriptive as possible. So in this case, I put my cursor at the end of Matilda Jane, and I press enter, and I literally just create a paragraph. So it's a dress, size medium, fit and flare, cotton blend, stretch, floral trim, boho art, hippie. And then if it was a zip up, you would put zip. If it had any additional features you want to list, say that. If your item is rare or you want to add some more information about your item, that would be where you should put that. When it comes to clothing, make sure that you have all of your measurements. So for this, usually dresses have your bust, your waist, and your total length. Because it's long sleeve, I might even put the sleeve length. And hopefully that will avoid buyers constantly sending you messages to want to know more about something that is already in the listing. Now, we know that regardless how much you put in here, some people are still going to ask you additional questions, and that's okay. You know, they want to be sure before they buy. However, you want to put as much as possible into these listings so that way it saves you time on answering additional messages you don't have to, and the buyer feels a little bit more prepared on what they're purchasing. So I would put those measurements in. Then I would price it. Another video will talk about how to look up comps and solds to get a really good understanding on what you should price. In this case, I've already done that, and plus I've sold this type of dress a million times. So I would say $24.99, which is a little bit higher than what it's worth. And the reason why I do that is because I allow offers. On top of allowing offers, I immediately have a store running, a sale running on my store all the time. So as soon as I list this for $24.99, it's immediately going to be marked down to around $23.22. Then on top of that, there's a function on eBay called offer to watchers. And so these are items where people are kind of sitting on, they can't pull the trigger, and the best way to make a sale sometimes is to then send them an additional offer. So what I usually do is send an offer somewhere between 10 and 13% on top of what I've already marked down. So when you think about that, that $24.99 more than likely is going to be somewhere around the $19 to $20 range when it's all said and done. So I would always suggest to price up a little bit to allow room for negotiations and for coupons and for sales and all this other stuff, because the idea that a buyer will just pay full price is really not a realistic idea. Buyers want to feel like they're getting a great deal. They want to feel like they, caught the best deal. So you want to make sure that you send them offers and things like that to kind of entice them into buying from you. Now, as you see here, our shipping options. Another video, I'll talk about how to create these shipping policies, but in this case, I know it's first class. I know it's under 16 ounces, so I don't really need to put all this additional information in. You do have that option. Some people like to do calculated shipping for all of their items. Now, in order to do that, you have to do all the front end work. So you need to put in the exact ounces or pounds and the dimensions, and regardless where they live, then eBay will calculate how much their shipping will be based on, what you put in there. But for me, I do it the easy way. And so I know this is first class, and so that's what the shipping option is going to be under. Then as you come down a little bit further, you see where you can promote this listing. That too will be an additional video. So depending on how much exposure you want your listing to get, you can pay a little bit more of a percentage for eBay to get the money. However, it gives you the exposure to get your item at the top of search, which is essentially the key. You want to see your item before everyone else's as much as possible. So that's an option too. Volume pricing is for people that have, say we had 10 Matilda Jane dresses, and we said, hey, if you buy 2, then you'll get the third 15% off, or you buy 2 and you get 1 free, or so you can do all those different variation and options as well. Then it comes down here to your preferences. Make sure everything is underneath the payments managed by eBay. Whatever your return policy is, if it's something rare that you do not want to return, you can always have that under that type of return. However, the way eBay runs lately, guys, they're going to make you return it regardless the buyer return it regardless, even if everything is in fact the way it's supposed to be. So it's almost to the point now where you almost just need to accept the returns, and that's kind of the way business is right now as far as sales. But you do have that option to simply say, I will not return. You also have the option to accept international sales, and I would highly suggest you do that. I have quite a bit of sellers, a lot of buyers that purchase things from my store, but then there's also a lot of sellers that absolutely will not sell international. The global shipping program is a great program. It's super easy. I would highly suggest that you have all your listings available for you to do international shipping. But if you choose not to, you have that option as well. And then this just talks about the location and then the charity if you decide to donate a portion of this sale to a charity. So then when you get to the end down here, there's several different options. You can save it for later. Say you want to go back and put your pictures in. Maybe you're not ready to send it live, or maybe you just want to preview it, which you have that option as well. Or you can just press list it and it's live. So you have those options. Okay. So I hope this video was very informative, and maybe there's some tips and things that you hadn't thought about. I think there are a lot of resellers right now that are wanting to get on eBay and kind of get that ball rolling, especially with everyone being inside during the pandemic. A lot of online sales are pretty popular right now. So I would advise you to kind of take a moment and think about what it is you want to sell, and then make sure you're doing it the right way. If you have any suggestions and you're a seasoned seller and I forgot something, please feel free to comment below. But like I said, I've done this for quite some time, and I feel pretty confident in this video as far as how to create a good listing. So I hope that you stay tuned for my next video, and I thank you guys for joining. Thank you. Bye.